Hey guys, it's Pat, and in fact maybe a year ago, I did a guided listen for a piece called Praise Our Lord by William Byrd when we released a recording of it. So I thought maybe this time I would do a guided listen again, but for the Hills of Aberfeldy, which is our new single and an arrangement of a song by Ed Sheeran. So I'm going to pop my headphones in and have a little listen to it and stop every now and then to talk about some of the things that I've noticed in the song, some of the stuff about the arrangement, and some of the behind the scenes things about recording it. So have a listen, get your headphones in and enjoy it with me. Here we go.
Oh, leaves are covered in snow, and the water's frozen. Oh, I long for you to be the one that I'm holding, and warm me down to my bone.
So that's just the opening section, right? And what Jim Clements, the arranger, does throughout this whole piece is play with texture. So he's playing with which voices are singing which bits and building that gradually as we go through the song. At the opening, you'll notice just Johnny sings this solo line, and around him a chord slowly builds up. It starts with just an open fifth, two notes, a D and an A. And as Johnny's solo progresses, Jim just adds in little notes like stars appearing in the night sky. We just fade in and sing these new chords. And by the time we've got to this point in the first verse, we've got this beautiful chord with a seventh and a ninth, and it's kind of glowing, hopefully, and shimmering around Johnny's solo. So I can go back to the beginning, press play again, and just listen to how this chord slowly builds up, and the kind of tension and the drama starts to come from that long sustained chord. Here we go.
Oh, leaves are covered in snow,
two notes,
and the water's frozen.
note,
Oh, I long for you to be the one that I'm holding,
fourth note,
and warm me down to my bones.
fifth note,
As you lay beside me, hold me close. Oh, the leaves are starting to fall, and the sun grows cold, and my heart might break from the weight of it all.
So as well as adding these notes and building up these chords, Jim is also adding text to these voice parts. So we start with these quite nebulous vocal sounds in this chord that we've built up. And then by this point in the song, he's starting to give the backing texture words to sing as well. And the words kind of track along with the solo. So we'll carry on and just listen for how the backing chords start to mirror the words of the text rather than just doing an ooh sound. Listen and enjoy.
All that I know, you could be holding somebody else's clothes. When I'm home, I'll hold you like I'm supposed to. And I know.
Okay, that cliffhanger, I'm going to pause it briefly. And here we've got a change. We've got Johnny doing the solo to begin with, the bass part, and then now at that kind of chorus moment, we've got Chris in the baritone register singing the solo line with these lovely chorus chords around him, again tracking the words. So Jim has built the texture, and now we're doing homophonic, kind of symphonic style chords around the solo. And when we were recording it, this was a bit of a challenge because you kind of want everything to feel epic at that last section, but also nothing to overbalance itself. So Bruce had to sing the solo nice and fully and freely, but the rest of us had to step back from the microphones just a little bit, a few inches, so that our chords around the solo wouldn't drown him out. Because we had to be making this kind of full sound as well, like a kind of string orchestra, but we didn't want to swamp the melody. So if we rewind a little bit, we can hear that sense of kind of full string texture behind Chris, but him in the foreground, hopefully. We'll rewind and listen to that again.
When I'm home, I'll hold you like I'm supposed to. And I know that I have never told you, darling, we could fall in love 'neath the hills of Aberfeldy.
Okay, and so in this next bit, you'll hear we lose all of the words, and that's because, and we go into da 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 da, all these kind of vocalizations, because Ed Sheeran's original track, at this moment, it breaks out into a folk band. So you've got fiddles going on, doing this kind of ornamented version of the main melody. It's really beautiful, and it's an unusual texture in a pop song. But the whole of this song really is a pastiche by Ed Sheeran of a Scottish folk melody. So it kind of made sense, I guess, for him to break into this different instrumental texture. But Jim gives us these lovely vocalizations to imitate the sound of a folk band, which hopefully you'll hear in this next section. So we're now into the next verse, and you'll notice that all of us have the text. So this is the next texture in the arrangement. And we're all singing the words at the same time, and the melody is passed up and down between different voice parts, all part of the same kind of instrumental texture. Listen and enjoy.
And the sun beats strong, and I feel like my feet may wander too long. And I will remain here alone, 'cause I fear that you may have found someone. But when I'm home, I'll hold you like I'm supposed to. Yet I know that I have never told. We could fall in love 'neath the hills of Aberfeldy. Darling, we could fall in love 'neath the hills of Aberfeldy.
So there you heard that section where we hear the solo part passed around between voices. There's a bit of Jules. There was a little bit of me on the top voice during the full homophony. You heard a little bit of Eddie and then a little bit of Chris. So we've really given everyone a little share of the solo at this point. And now we go back into that folk band texture with the vocalized violin sounds. And then we'll be into the last section of the song.
Da 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 Wherever I go, I will always find another stranger to share in the weight of my crimes. And I know you'll never find another heart that wants you more than
That's lovely. So what Jim does for that last section you just heard, the final verse, is to strip it back to how we had it at the beginning. Johnny singing the solo and some gentle, nicely spaced chords around him. And Jim does very subtle bits of reharmonization, so just choosing slightly different chords to make the melody sound a little bit different this next time. Really clever, and It's classic Jim Clements musical wizardry. And he gives us a lovely final cadence. So you're going to hear now this kind of boiling down into a gorgeous final chord, which is voiced perfectly with Johnny on a lovely bottom D and the kind of ideal King Singer's voicing for a sonorous, beautiful final chord that we absolutely love to do. So enjoy this last few seconds. So there you have it, that's the Hills of Aberfeldy, the King Singer's first ever cover of an Ed Sheeran song. Probably not the last, because, you know, he's a great songwriter and who knows what more he will write. But thanks for listening, and do have a look at the other tracks on CloseHarmony. There are singles coming out regularly, and then the full album in October. 2 albums, in fact, of some of our favourite, both old and brand new CloseHarmony arrangements.